Coach, I want to ask you about Mish Powell, got the interception, late in the game for you. Just how big has he been for that defense, at that safety spot for you this season?
Yeah, I think he's played really well. He's graded out well each week. Tackles well. Seems to be always in the right spot. Kind of calms the storm. I've said it before. Came up big with an interception at a crucial time. So continue playing well. I think him and Harris are really playing well together.
Deani's another one that was really flashing the other night. He seemed to have a really good game. I mean, it was.
He did. Deani, he came out of fall camp with a bit of a hamstring, and he's back healthy again. He was flying around out there, and he'll continue to get better. And this game means a lot to him. You can tell by the way he plays.
For you in that second half, kind of shut him out. What was the biggest adjustment or anything that kind of changed with the defense that allowed you to be successful?
Really, we didn't do too much things different. Really, in the first half, they were doing some things where they was rubbing us and picking us. And so we started switching some things off with the motion coming across. It's like playing against basketball teams, right? So, if they got guys that shoot from three-point land, you can't play zone. You got to go play man because you got to take it away. With that, you're going to get screens. So are you going to switch and go over the top of the screen, or are you going to switch the screens off? So it was a little bit of that, a little bit of chess match. They kind of figured out what we were doing, and they countered, and then we had to counter back. And I think the biggest point was our D-line started to wear on their offensive linemen, and we started getting back to the quarterback, and I think that affected them. So we had a good game plan. They know what to go to when they see it. But, a long time ago, a coach told me, if you took a formation, you draw it right down the middle. You got to have enough guys on this side to defend and enough guys on this side to defend. As soon as you don't have enough, they're going to get you in the run game. So it's the same thing the other night when they spread us out real wide. We had two guys covering, we had a close safety, and everybody else was in the box because you just got to stop the run first. We knew they wanted to run the football. That's kind of where their start, so we just kind of had the bend but don't break mentality on the back end with some passing game. And we gave up 15 points. I wish we could have played a couple routes a little bit different, but the guys got a little tired, but I thought we put up a good effort.
To follow up on that, and just broadly, not about last Saturday, just broadly, is the whole notion of halftime adjustment, can it kind of be overstated sometimes? I mean, you're not waiting till halftime to make adjustments, you're making them on the fly now in this game. Is it more of a talking point than reality, or are there really, more often than not, true adjustments that get made during?
This is what I found. I found out that through my years, this is just my experience, not anybody else's, but you look at film and you watch it, and you have a plan of how you're going to stop it. And when you come out to play against them, they're not going to do that. They're going to have something else. So you have to be able to fix the problems before halftime. If you fix the problems before halftime, they'll probably go back to the things you saw on film. If you haven't stopped the problems, then your job as a coordinator is to fix the problems at half because they're coming back to it. Once you fix the problem, they'll go back to what you've seen on film. And to me, that's where you make your money as a coordinator. You don't make it on the weekends. You have to be able to game plan, but you also have to be able to adjust in game and know exactly what to go to by what they're doing. And a lot of times that comes from experience of just seeing it. And to tell you the truth, my high school experience has probably helped me more than any of my college experience because you start off defending option football, wing tee, empty. You see everything in high school. Everybody copycats, and you'll see one offense one week and you never see it offense again. So that's kind of where you cut your teeth, as a coach, I found. That's my track anyway.
Lance, with Ruben Bain, he hasn't played the last 3 games, but we've seen him pregame working with Colson and the younger guys. Just his work ethic, his want to help you guys however he can when he doesn't play.
Yeah,
what does that mean to you?
Ruben's getting close, and Ruben's a good leader. He's very mature. I said it before, and he wants to get back. And he's seeing a lot of guys play, and when he gets back healthy, he'll be back in the mix like he's supposed to be. And can't wait to get him back. I think he'll come back at the right time. When that is, I don't know, but he's getting closer and closer for sure.
Lance, what have you seen from Virginia Tech offense?
They're dangerous. The quarterback's a really good athlete. He can throw it deep. He can also run. The running back, number 33, is really fast. He breaks tackles. He's a short guy, but he's really strong. And they have a wide receiver, 83, who can really run. So tight end, they involve him in a lot of the passing games. So they have 4 guys. They have more than that, but that's like the 4 focal points of their offense that I feel. And they do a lot of quarterback run stuff. So will be a little bit different this week because they present different problems. But, we're trying to work through that right now.
Does it help, obviously, USF's quarterback's a dual threat guy, BT's quarterback's a dual threat guy. Does it help kind of stick with preparing for?
Nah, it's totally different. They're not a spread type offense like the Baylors of old. They're more power read, a lot of motions involved, play action off of it. It's a different formation. It's a little bit tighter sets, not as open. So it's a little bit different strategy on offense. So we have to be a little different on defense.
Your communication in the secondary appears to be significantly better this year than in the past. Is that an accurate
Yes, sir.
observation?
Yeah, system. I think they're familiar with the system. Even though Mish came in and had to learn the system, it was like something else he had learned. Of course, Harris was his second year in, Markeith, Porter. Corners don't have as much to learn as the safeties, but then you have the backers, it's the brain trust as well. So we have more guys familiar with the defense than last year, and that plays into it. The first year is always tough because not only what you put in and install, each week there might be a wrinkle, and sometimes that's tough. So right now I just think we know the defense a little bit better. So we're able to look at the offenses and really kind of diagnose what they're doing. Don't have to think about what we're doing as much.
Has it been as clean mentally as it's looked? I mean,
Sometimes it's fooling, man. Sometimes you think, God, that was a great play, or God, he messed up. And that wasn't even it. It's kind of like the Harris play, against Florida. Everybody thought he was wrong, but he was covering the man tight end. Our backer didn't come off the edge. So he looked like he made a mistake, but he didn't. So, you look at every year, at the end of the year, you look at cut-ups. And you look at your calls that you made, and you try to find calls that look right, and there's always something wrong with a call. There's always they didn't, but that's defensive football. If you play hard sometimes, you're supposed to be in a gap, but the ball didn't go there, you get out of your gap and you run. I always say the ball's the issue, and it's like that forever on defense. Your guards will take you to a play, but you can't go until the running back goes there. So they just an indicator which way he should go. So
You've talked about how you set a goal every game of getting a third quarter shutout. I think you've done that now in 3 or 4 games. Why do you feel like this group has been so good at executing that?
I think communication. I think we probably solve problems a little bit quicker on defense, and that's not just because of experience with our players or me. Our coaches also know what we're doing. And there's not a lot of times we have to meet together. Jason knows exactly what we're going to do with the defensive front once we put the game plan in. D-Nick knows exactly what we're going to do at the linebacker position, and then he says, Lance, what if they do this? Can we tweak it like this? I said, yeah. Chevis has been with me before, so we know the defense better as a staff, which helps us on game day be able to change at instant like that. JT said, Lance, how about this? I said, go with it, let it play. So it's just kind of how we communicate now because we know they know what I want and what my vision is, and they work from within that. And plus their experience from being other places is also helping me as well, putting things into my system or our system.
It's just, I was looking just now, and you guys have not spoke on your season, but I think you guys improved by 12-13% on third down defense, getting teams off the field. What do you see anything different from what you guys are doing last year? Is it just a better defense, a better communication that is working? What have you seen specifically on third down defense?
I think we're able to do a little bit more than we did last year, just from the personnel we have. Last week was probably our hardest. We got in a lot of third and mediums because of their tempo. I thought they had a really good third down plan against us. We were a little bit simpler on third and medium. The key is to get to third and long. Third and long, a little bit better. We also, we gave up a big screen. We were supposed to be in certain coverage and we blew it, which got them down there, but we ended up stopping that series. But I just think that, we're able to do a little bit more. We're able to communicate a little bit better this year. So we'll see down the stretch. We haven't even gotten the conference play yet, so it's our first one, and we need to play well.
You mentioned kind of a bend but don't break approach with the passing game a little bit against USF. Was some of that like the slot receiver having his success playing a little off him?
Yeah, when a guy moves, you can't press it. That's slot receivers. That's why they put those guys. Sometimes you'll look at film and you say, oh, he can't get off a press. But sometimes if they feel like a guy can't get off a press, they'll back him off and let him be the motion guy, but he won't get pressed. So he has more access to get releases. Guy was really good, was able to tackle him. I felt like it is going to get some plays, but if we got him down and made him restart again, eventually they would run out. And as you saw, once they got closer to the goal, it's kind of like they ran out of space. They didn't have nowhere to go no more, and it kept, kind of drowning out in their series of kicking field goals. Guy hit everything field goal, I think, it seemed like. But that was kind of our philosophy: stop the run, keep the ball in front of us, and just tackle. And we knew it was going to go fast, but you cannot simulate that speed, and you can't simulate how tired you're going to be and when you're going to be able to get off the field, because you can only get off the field during a dead ball or when they switch personnel. So sometimes the D-line was looking aside. It wasn't for the calls. It was, coach, come get me. So it was fast, but I thought we did a good job. I really did. So playing those type of offenses, just like option, you can't simulate it until you get out there and get in a rhythm and start playing against them.
When the
You
kick
guys
goes
like
out,
Miles when you come up with this 13 interceptions just because, walk off is awesome stories. How awesome is that for you?
It's awesome, I'm a former walk-on. Probably a lot of people don't know that. I walked on at McNeese in my second year. I was a starter, so I ended up starting 4 years, and I was a walk-on. So when a walk-on comes in a game and makes a play, I know exactly how it feels, So everybody was excited. You could tell how everybody was excited because that guy puts in a lot of work, and he's made plays at practice. So we was all excited for him. We really was.
I want to go back to something you said, previous question. Sometimes, because the game was fast, sometimes he's not looking over for a call, he's looking over, come get me out of here. How often are you selectively missing somebody when they say that maybe you just leave them out and say, no, you got one more in you? Do you?
There's certain, if you have time to get a guy off, you get him off. But what they were doing, you can't get a guy off. You can't get him off until it's a dead ball or they throw the ball out of bounds on their sideline where they're supposed to stand over it. That was the only time you can get them off. So you got to kind of be stuck in those series. I think that's kind of within a program. Everybody used to have a big nose tackle, and now it's kind of because of the game, the way it's played. You don't need that big guy, or there's no reason for him because it's hard to get him off the field against a team like that. So there's really no place for him there. You need him against the 12 personnel teams and things like that. So it's hard to get guys on an awesome time when they go that fast.
Lance, obviously there's a push this week to pack Hard Rock Stadium. You guys played so far in two, pretty loud road environments until they weren't. But how much do defenses feed off of that energy from the home crowd when they're being as loud as possible and the opposing offense is on the field?
I think it's always good when you're home. Of course, you want to play in front of big crowds, but you just play different at home. I think you play with more emotion on defense. You tend to play with a little more pep in your step. You tend to run harder to the football. We usually hear them on third downs is when, the crowd gets into it. It's always good. It's harder for us to communicate sometimes on third down and make checks, but it's always good to play home, and it's good to play in front of a packed house. But I'm sure the more we win, they'll keep coming. We just got to do our part as coaches and players and just keep winning.